The conduct that he has engaged in is horrific.
My name is Courtney Wild, and I was sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein as a child.
I was terrified, and I was telling him to stop. Please stop.
The fact that no one's proven what he's done over the last 14 years is not proof that he wasn't engaged in improper conduct.
Some of the abuse may have been taking place while Epstein was allowed to leave jail during the day.
Couldn't tell if they were underage or not.
They look young?
They look very young.
There's a congressional statute that creates a presumption that somebody accused of these crimes should not be released.
And we do have this breaking news. Convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein has just been denied bail. He will have to stay behind bars pending his trial on sex trafficking charges. Let's go straight to CNN crime and justice reporter Shimon Prokupecz. He is there in New York, was there in the courtroom. What did the judge say there?
Well, the judge said after reviewing the argument and the bail package that Epstein's attorneys had proposed, keep in mind, they were willing to put up close to $100 million, maybe even more. The judge saying that was inadequate, that he was not going to grant Jeffrey Epstein bail, and that for now, Jeffrey Epstein is going to have to remain in jail in the federal facility here in downtown Manhattan, known as the MCC. He has been there since his arrest nearly 2 weeks ago, and that is where, for now, he will remain. Of course, his attorneys have been fighting the government's request to keep him in jail. They've been offering his $77 million mansion as a place for where Epstein can stay under house arrest with electronic monitoring. They were going to hire security guards. They were going to do all sorts of things to try and keep him out of jail, get him to go uptown to his luxury mansion on the Upper East Side. The judge saying, you know what, I don't think that's adequate. I'm not going to do that, and I am not going to release Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, at 66, Jeffrey Epstein now potentially faces the rest of his life in prison. The maximum time on the charges, on the sex trafficking charges that he faces is 45 years, which inevitably means that if he was to be convicted, he could face the rest of his life in prison. It could be very well likely that Jeffrey Epstein never sees the light of day again. That is, that for the rest of his life going forward, he will never see the outside of a prison cell.
And that is where he'll at least remain while he waits trial. What's the reaction from the defense there?
Yeah, we haven't seen or heard anything from his attorneys yet. We know that Jeffrey Epstein didn't even speak to his attorneys after the decision was handed down by the judge. Seemingly upset, he walked out of court, of course, with the U.S. Marshals, and he went back to jail where he's going to remain. So we don't have any reaction yet from his attorneys. They don't normally speak. I don't anticipate that we'll hear anything from him. We know that the victims here are certainly going to feel some relief, because now they know. They were concerned. They even came into court here on Monday and told the judge that they were fearful of his release. At least now we know that they'll have some relief, I should say, in knowing that he's not going to be released. The concern here also, I just want to point out from prosecutors and some of the victims, is that he could potentially influence some of the witnesses. There's already evidence that the prosecutors have gathered showing that Epstein was trying to buy the silence of some of the witnesses, paying them $350,000. That was one of the arguments prosecutors used to try and keep him in jail. Prosecutors here obviously feel a great deal of relief in knowing that he's going to stay in jail, because they were concerned that he was going to flee. And for now, as we've been saying, he is going to remain in that federal facility here in Lower Manhattan.
Shimon Prokupecz, thank you. We appreciate it.